Hello everyone, Glenda Mollet here, and I'm in my craft room today. And we are going to create this gorgeous gold and shaded spruce hello card. I love this, the artistically inked suite that consists of, sorry, I'm stinking and trying to talk at the same time doesn't work. Artistically inked stamp set, artistic dies, and the super gorgeous expressions in ink specialty paper and the ephemera pack as well. Oh my goodness, talk about stunning products. And then I'm going to show you this little trick. So the designer paper has gold foiling in it. Can you see the gold foiling? And I'm going to show you how I did this to mimic the designer paper on the envelope and on the inside of the card. And I did something different on the inside. I popped up a sentiment. So we'll get going. Along with those, I'm using the stitch rectangle dies, and the second to the largest one is the one I'll be using. The sentiment on the inside comes from Encircled in Friendship. And I'm also using the 3D Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. Now the ephemera pack comes with 5 sheets. Let me get this stuff out of my way. 5 sheets, 5 gold sheets, and some self-adhesive sequins. So these are the sequins. They're iridescent and they're gorgeous. And then these are laser cut gold pieces. So you have the pieces that they intend you to use, which would be these ones. Let me just pop this off so I can show you what I mean. So there's a frame. That's the way it's intended to be used, right? But also you get in there, you get these pieces that came out from in between. And let me just pick the other one up here. Of course, they're not cooperating, that piece. And then this is in the center of that, and it has another die cut that you can use once you pull that die cut out. And then the one around the outside, this nice big one, also has this really cool piece on the inside. So don't throw any of these pieces away because they're all useful. And I'm going to be using the outside big hexagon-y type one. So I'm just going to pull that off. I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use this piece from the inside. So there's that piece. I'm not using that. I'm going to pull these little, the ones that go in between, because I'll save those for another project. Oops, there it goes flying. I'm trying to be gentle with these because I don't want to rip them because they're so fine. And this one, pull this out. So just a little bit of Tombow glue on these before you start on that one anyways. This one I can just use adhesive on, but just a little bit of Tombow glue on that before we get started, and it'll be dry by the time we need to use it. So I'll just find my Tombow glue here and do that. Do some little dots. Now you could use a sponge and sponge the Tombow on there, but this works for me. I'll go around the outside, and all I'm doing is basically putting little pinpoints of glue on the back here, and then when it dries it becomes glue dots. and I should have done this on my silicone mat, because then I wouldn't have had to worry about picking it up and getting glue all over my table that I did. Okay, just finish that off. Just got a little bit more. Oops, I missed it. There, okay. So now once I get it off of my finger, I'm just going to put that off to the side to dry out of my way. Okay, so that we get that done. Now, the recipe for this is a Shaded Spruce card base, a piece of basic white 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, a piece of Shaded Spruce 5 1/4 by 4 for the outside, because there is an embossed layer underneath there. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 3 1/2 by 4 7/8, and I'm going to cut the piece for in here out of that before we use it. Then I have a piece of Expressions in Ink, especially designer paper, that's 3 1/2 by 4 7/8. A piece of gold foil that's 2 1/2 by 5 to put to die cut the spray, and then this is 1 5/8 by 3/4 for the sentiment. Okay, so first let's do the pieces that we need. I'm going to get this die, and I'm going to die cut this out. Now this just fits, so if you have one of my kits, just play around with it. It will fit, believe me. Okay, die cut that nice and slow so it gets a chance to cut. And I'm just going to use my take your pick tool and get rid of most of the little pieces in there. Okay, we'll take that, throw that away. And just a little bit of gentle persuasion gets most of those little pieces out, then you don't have a lot of stuff to clean up. There. Okay, let's pop this out. And I'm going to clean my die out for next time. Don't forget to do this every time you use your die. Clean it out, because otherwise you don't get good cuts the next time you go to use it. It only takes a minute. There we go, that's done. Now we'll go in and take out the few stubborn bits that are in here. And now I did not put adhesive on the back of this because I don't want it to be flat on the card. Oh, come on. This one piece is being annoying. It's almost like those didn't cut through. Just gotta persuade them. There we go. Come on. Pardon me while I do a little persuading with my scissors, because apparently my fingers persuading is not working. There we go. It's one. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that one. All right, so there's that done. We have that piece and that piece. Now this one, the designer paper, I'm going to die cut with this die. So I'll just run that through. there's that. And this one, did I get the dye out? What did I do with the dye from? There it is, potted succulents. Did I get those potted succulents? Oh yes, there they are, way over there. Got them out and left them over on the other side of the room. So I'm just going to pop this one out of here, out of the potted succulents, and cut somewhere in the middle. You don't have to be too precise because this is getting covered anyways. Okay, we have that. And that pieces, and that. Okay, so we're ready to do some of, oh, I have to emboss this. So this one gets embossed with Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. Put that in there and run it through the machine. Till it pops out the other side. Come on, there we go. All right, now we're ready for assembly. Step 1. Let's get some glue dots on this while we're assembling. And apparently there's still some gold pieces on the back side of this. Okay, so what I did was, this was too long for the front. I didn't want it up that high. But now, having looked at it, I think I'll do this one full. I think I'll leave this one. So I cut it off. I cut these bottom two off, laid this part here like that, cut these two off and moved them up on top. But I think this one I'll just leave it whole so you can see the difference. Okay, so now I'm going to put some Tombow on here, but I'm only going to do at the junctions of the leaves and the stem, and then on the stem, because I want the leaves to have the freedom to stick up a bit if they want, because then my card isn't going to look quite as flat. Now I think right in the middle of all of those, I'll just go back, put a little tiny dot, but not through the whole thing. Okay, now I'll put that off to the side to dry as well. This we'll put onto our card. Now this is different on each side, so it just depends on which side you like, which side looks best for you. There's no right and no wrong. I had an alarm. Oh, I hate when I have to do that in the middle of my live. My apologies. I should go and take that alarm out of my phone. Okay, so card base. And this is just going to go on to the card base. Right? Flat like that. Okay, so I'll put that off to the side now, and I'm going to bring in the white piece and the designer paper and layer these two. I love this paper, it's so pretty. It hurts to cover up the other side. Look at the patterns on that. Even the side that doesn't have the gold foiling on it is gorgeous. Okay, so that gets layered onto the white. Like that. Now this I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. but you could put it flat if you want. You don't have to pop it up. Apparently I've been doing a lot of this lately, putting whole layers up on dimensionals instead of just sections. So if you're doing this, don't put your dimensionals in here because that is lower than this and it will suck your center of your card in on your card base, which is never a good thing. You'll have a saggy card front. Taking the liners off now. And that will go. Now it comes the decision which side I want up. That side or that? I think this side. There, because that looks better to my eye. But you know, it's whatever looks good to you. And of course they're all different. Make it straight. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to get my leaves and lay them on there, right about there. I want them over far enough that I can still put that other frame up there. So we'll bring that other frame in. And make sure it's the right size. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to go right in here. Ah, it's stuck to my finger. And you kind of want it to be straight. And the thing I like about using Tombow and letting it dry is it's movable. These are a little on the delicate side. There we go. So much easier when you have Tombow on there. All right, now the centerpiece, I'm going to put that up on dimensionals. There's sirens happening outside. It's never a good thing. We live a couple of miles off of the main highway to Tofino, so we get a lot of sirens happening. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Now before I push it down, I just want to make sure it's straight there. So that's how that is. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay. So let's find the sentiment piece wherever it went. There it is. And we'll stamp hello in Memento ink onto the white cardstock. See if I can do this and make it relatively straight. Yay! Okay, so while I have it out, I might as well stamp the one for the inside. And this says, just a note to let you know that someone thought of you today. Isn't that a lovely sentiment? I really like it. I've used it a lot since I got it. I'm probably not doing this in camera, but I had to get it lined up. There we are. Okay, put the lid on that. Cut some dimensional pieces for the back of that because I want to pop it up on the inside. I'll just get some pieces, put them on there. put that off to the side because I'm not quite ready for it yet. And this one, I'm just going to put it flat. So we'll just put some adhesive on that, and it just goes flat because the gold label part is already popped up. Come on, there we go. Being fussy that was. Bring this back in, and it's going to go right in the center. Cover, it just covers the points. So it just goes right there like that. Okay, so now let me show you the magic for the inside. I need a piece of dirty paper. Get this out of the way. Okay, so I'm using Shaded Spruce ink and this lovely squiggly, whatever it's called, backgroundy type piece. And I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp it and then ink it again and stamp it again. So I'm overlapping a bit right there because I don't want there to be a gap, but you can't even tell that it's overlapped. Now I'll do the same thing for the envelope. There we go. That's the magic of inside. Except for now, I'm going to show you how I got the gold embossing powder on there. So there's this thing called a quickie glue pen. Now I got these off of Amazon, and I'm just going to get a scrap of paper so I can start the ink and make sure it's working, because it's really difficult to see whether it's working or not. Come on. Oh, don't tell me it's clogged. There it comes. There it comes. Okay, so then I'm just going to follow along on some of the lines and add in some glue, and then I'll be able to put gold embossing powder on there. I'll just tap. Oh, I should have put my... Didn't let this dry enough. I'll probably end up with some speckles of gold, but that's okay. I don't mind that. But if you don't want those speckles, just take your embossing buddy or some cornstarch and just go over top of the ink before you put the embossing powder on it. Now I'm doing the same thing to the envelope, just following the veins. There we go. Put the lid on this and get my heat gun. So, oops, excuse the noise for a sec while I heat this up. And when you're using your heat gun, don't do this because that will burn out your heat elements. Just hold it in one place till you see it starting to turn, starting to cook the embossing powder, and then just walk it along. You don't have to shake it and rattle it and roll it, as long as once it gets hot, you keep it moving. So that's the envelope, and I'll do the inside now. Wait for it to start and see it starting there. So I'm just walking it down to do the rest of it. Just going back and forth. This is such a cool technique. And yeah, I have a bit of dusting on there because I didn't let it dry long enough. So I don't know whether you can see all the dusting of little dots of specks of gold, but I'm fine with that because it's stunning. Can you see that? Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Just let it dry a sec before I turn it over. And I'm going to put some adhesive on it. Maybe. I can get my adhesive to work. There we go. I think it's time to clean my applicator out. It's getting quite gungy. And we'll put this on the inside of the card. Whoops, that's the completed one. And look at that. When you put that in there, it makes the gold pop. There. Oh, I love it. Okay, we'll put the inside sentiment in. So when they open this, it's not just your usual card inside. It's actually quite cool. There we go. And then to have an envelope like that, like hopefully they won't throw this envelope away. So there we are. There's our card with the funky inside. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you are in... Oh, I didn't put the bling on. Oops. Where's my bow? Got to put the bow on. And some sequins from the Ephemera pack. I think I'll just move that one up to the next one because it's a little close. And then, where's my Ephemera pack? There it is. So these are self-adhesive sequins, iridescent sequins. And I'm just going to get 3 of them and just plunk them on here. And one over there. Now the card is done. Now it is complete. Look at that. Stunning. I don't use Shaded Spruce a lot, and I'm so glad that they put it in this designer paper because I didn't think I liked it. But guess what? Apparently I do. So thanks so much for spending time with me in my craft room today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and you give the Expressions in Ink Suite a chance. Stamp and Smiles. Bye for now.